how far would you go if you were uncomfortable in the middle seat of a flight? A woman on a 3-hour American Airlines flight is going viral after complaining she was wedged between two people. I am currently literally wedged between two obese people on my flight. This is absolutely not acceptable or okay. If fat people want to be fat, fine, but it is something else entirely when I'm stuck between you with your arm rolls on my body for 3 hours.
I'm claustrophobic, Darren!
Listen.
They don't get it! I'm claustrophobic!
Hey guys, and welcome to Mika Reacts Reviews, where we're reacting to things on the internet. And today I want to do a short little video commenting on Sydney Watson's recent video where her hellish plane ride where she was squished the entire fucking time and having other human bodies, strange bodies, right? Bodies that she did not consenting to, touching her the entire time, and her rant on, I think, Twitter, that got her in a little bit hot water, but I don't think she's sweating it at all. She's not apologized, she's not backing down, and I completely and utterly agree with her. It's not about like being hateful to one group or phobic to another. I hate that word because no one's scared of fat people unless you sit on me or squish me on a plane. So yeah, if you don't know the story, she was on a plane ride and there were two siblings. They were related, two bigger people, obese people sitting next to her, and their bodies were literally overlapping to her chair. I've experienced this. It is an uncomfortable feeling, and I'm not sure, but I feel like Sydney Watson kind of hinted at that she might have trauma in that area, and I too have trauma in that area, and I cannot stand, like, it makes me want to rip my skin off. I would rather rip it off than have you touching me. I don't know you, and we are in a public space, and I'm not consenting to this touch. I can't take it. It makes me like want to lose my mind, especially with someone of the opposite gender or the opposite sex. I can't take it.
I don't even know what's happening. So I was on a flight the other evening from New York to Dallas, and on that flight I was wedged, quite literally wedged, between two very obese people. And I spent about 3 hours, just over 3 hours, squished like a little sardine between these people, with them encroaching upon my space, with them touching me, sweating on me. Ugh. I had maybe a third of a seat, at best. Eventually, this led me to a point where I tweeted at American Airlines, because that's who I was flying with, about the situation, and they effectively told me, too bad, how sad, go in, F yourself. They said, our passengers come in all shapes and sizes. We're sorry you were uncomfortable on your flight. Then I started receiving an onslaught of abusive and unhinged messages and comments and emails about the situation, most of which just, by the way, made me laugh just because they're so crazy. But I was being called fat phobic and told that I'm fat shaming and that I'm a horrible human being. I got called the C word, and then news.com.au also covered the story and said that I'm fat shaming and, you know, said that I'm offensive. So that's really fun. And I'm not exaggerating when I say that I was sardined. I was sandwiched between these two people to the point where I had little T-Rex arms. But I was squashed between these two people. No exaggeration. It's not fun, as a general rule, when people have to touch you without your consent. It's not fun when people have to invade your personal space, especially if you have a background where you've had negative experiences with that sort of thing. And at this point as well, I'm feeling bad for the guy sitting in front of me because I'm almost having to rest my head on his seat, which I don't know if he could feel that, but I'm having to do that to, you know, continue to drink tea and try to, you know, rage tweet. And he had his seat back, so every time he would adjust himself or shift in his chair, he's smacking me in the face with his chair. And so at this point, I'm squished, I'm a sardine, and now I'm getting a headache. We actually hadn't been on the flight for too long when I turned to the guy to my right and I said, basically, would you be comfortable swapping seats? And he goes, no, that's okay. That's my sister, and, you know, we sit together all the time. Which, you know, I feel like if you had any level of self-awareness or just decency in general, your response to that question would have been, yes, yes, of course, let's swap, let's do that. Because it's better for you to be jammed up against, jammed into, squashed into your sister rather than a total stranger squashed into her. I feel like this is common courtesy, but maybe that's just me.
So I understand her pain, and the fact that they were siblings, and she did ask if they can switch chairs with her, and they said no, because they also know what it feels like to have someone heated with his sister's body on him and vice versa, right? But they can put their body onto another person that's not even related to them. I think it was brother and sister, I'm not really sure, but I'm assuming from the pictures or from, Sydney Watson's harrowing testimony. And so Sydney Watson also had, I believe, back and hip surgery, so this was also really uncomfortable for her because she had to sort of sit in a way the entire plane ride, I think with her arms up like this, and even had to rest her head at points on the seat in front of her where the guy is constantly banging her in the head. It really does sound horrible.
So at this stage, I'm extremely upset. My body is being touched in one way or another. I couldn't get away from strangers touching me because even when I leaned forward, which I eventually did on the flight for a little while, which just by the way, and not to be whiny about this, but on a serious note, that caused me back pain and hip pain, because woo for having hip surgery. But if I wasn't leaning forward to get my arms away from being squished, my hips were still being pressed together because on either side, both of their bodies and both of their hips, or whatever part of their body was doing this, was pushing mine together. So I'm not exaggerating when I say that I had a third of a seat, a half of a seat. It was just...
As another human being that has respect and compassion and empathy for other human beings, if I was in their situation, I would feel uncomfortable that I'm making someone else feel so uncomfortable. And it's not even just an emotional feeling. You are physically invading on this person's space and body autonomy and their body in a bubble. You're physically making them uncomfortable and they're physically in pain and you just don't care. And maybe they do care, I don't know, but I personally would not put someone in that situation if I was oversized. I just wouldn't, right? But that's just me. I'm a respectable person, and it feels like my generation and Gen Z just don't give a fuck about respect unless you belong to a marginalized group, I guess. And I guess maybe if Sydney Watson was black, she could have made more of a fuss. I don't know, but girl, I get you, and I feel your pain, and you have nothing to be ashamed of, and you have nothing to apologize for, right? If this was a reverse situation, and it was two grown, muscle-bound men, just invading and pressing and pushing onto a woman, people would have been upset about it. But for some reason, because these people belong into the acceptance movement, you can't say anything about it. And one of the people were male. I thought, what about what happened to like men spreading and taking up space and all that stuff, and how that's all misogyny and toxic masculinity? But if it's someone who's bigger, then it's fine. So I get her. I agree with her. I wouldn't have been able to take it. I would have sat on the floor in the plane. And if you want to move me, give me a new seat. I can't. I literally would have vomited. Like, I can't. It's like a phobia. Like, I can't do it. And I've had issues traveling through South and Southeast Asia, sometimes on these buses where, personal space is a little bit different on this side of the world. And I'm literally pressed up against the fucking wall of the bus just to get myself a half a centimeter away from the other person's body because I can't take it. Anyway, let me know what you guys think, if you ever been in this situation, and if you were, how did you feel? How did it make you feel? Do you agree with Sydney Watson? Do you think she is just a spoiled, privileged, white, woman with first world problems and she should have just shut the off up? Let me know in the comment section below. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Hit the bell to get the notifications when I do upload. All of that really does help with the algorithm, guys. And if you'd like to support the channel even further, you can donate. My PayPal link is in the description box below and also in the comment section. Of course, it helps, so you don't have to. You can just like, comment, and subscribe. Another great way to support the channel is join my I'm being so extra. Another way to support this channel is either join my brand new membership program, different levels, different tiers, different perks, or you can visit my brand new merch shop. Links down below and links to all of the alternate platforms I'm on, including my Rumble, my Minds.com, my Odyssey, my Discord, my Twitter, and all the other links to all the other YouTube channels I have, always in the links down below. Always. Well, most of the time. And if you like, you can super thanks. I also have a second travel vlog channel. I travel as a lifestyle. I live abroad. If you'd like to know where I am in the world, you can go to the description box below and also in the comment section. Hit the link. Go subscribe to my travel vlog channel and or follow me on my travel Instagram. My stories is usually what's most of the day. And other than that, guys, you guys have a beautiful, amazing day.